stinky. It's okay, don't worry about it right now. Is pretty much good enough. I'll just put it right there. What's up? What's up? Doing good. Hi, Ranch Lover.
Ranch Lover, how you feel?
Fixing to cook dinner. Robert, what's up? Good.
You want, which one you want?
What do you mean, the regulars?
No, phone.
Oh, Pulse.
Sorry.
Cheesesteak. Done.
And this was gonna be a tick. This was TikTok. Fuck, I gotta go back to the car anyway.
Okay.
Fucking potatoes.
So you forgot the potatoes and the...
I had my arms and you
I
didn't
know.
grab nothing.
You didn't ask me to.
You knew we had a bunch of stuff. You helped carry other stuff, so I still need more to bring it in.
Here's one bag.
I carried the juice and potatoes. You had the bag.
What juice?
I had the juice and potatoes. You carried the bag.
No, and then you didn't do that.
So if I put the bag in, who had the juice and potatoes?
Goofy. Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
A bit of everything. How are you? Yeah. Once we get all the stuff in. I'm glad I'm only like 130 pounds. I would have been broke. Right. I can't wait. Are you going to cut now?
Yeah. So you're entertaining. Now I'd rather start cutting now.
Oh, I don't want to cut it.
Yeah. So give me a little orange knife.
Okay, kind of plate.
And where the bag of this at on the bed?
Damn it, you was gonna use that up. I was like, yeah, I have a trash can.
Alright,
I
well,
was
give
just
me
gonna
two
give you a
pans.
plate.
Give me 2 pans.
I was gonna give you a plate.
Alright, plate.
Well, here, how about, there you go.
No, that's you need that.
Exactly, to cover the top, so if you're gonna dump it in there.
Alright. I still need a plate.
Yeah. For the scraps.
No.
For what?
Cutting board.
Duh.
I need one.
Cutie. You hilarious.
Please, George. Oh no, we're not watching.
I didn't put that on. It put itself on.
I heard that name enough growing up. You heard me? Well, you can roll up while I get the potatoes ready.
Yes, baby. Hold on.
No, I wasn't rushing. I was just.
Where the fuck is my cutting board? I had 2, 3. There's put the potatoes and there's cut them. So I can strain them out easy.
Look at you getting proactive.
It's all good. Bye. Hardy, har, har. I need some of these. No, for my put them together. Saute them together.
The remote over
Saute
there.
all these together. It needs a remote. But I thought humans couldn't hear it.
Yeah, but I need to cut it a little bit more for myself. They're already over there.
They're good?
Yeah.
The number 8 and Grandpa Bob's lucky number.
I can hear that.
7 is mine. Logan, what's up? Ha ha ha. Okay, you get that. Oh, that was good. Because it won't take long for them to saute. So I can go ahead and do this. This is a lot like they just fucking ground it up and put it in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
She says a few hours before the shooting, she was at the house watching the New Orleans Saints playoff game.
Because they ground the stems and everything. I take the fucking stems out.
She says then that a man came by and Ray gave him some of his food.
What's up, humans? Savannah hasn't been on in days.
Since ball got on.
Yeah, Katie hasn't. Katie been on the other day and the other day. I think she was on there a little bit.
She was on yesterday.
Yeah. See, eyeliner got fans too.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Nurse. The woman who was watching the game reaches back out. I appreciate it. She tells them she's heard that there was someone else involved.
Hey, you need to see if you. Hold on. Hold on.
I need to see if I can work.
Hold on.
I need to see if I can hold
Unless
it.
you come over here, you hold on.
If the man in the blue hideout was taking out that they called his brother over once he was alone.
I'm thinking.
Well, it's also the name of the man in the blue hideout and evil to detectives. He has no prior convictions. His older brother, the alleged shooter, his prior convictions for possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a controlled substance.
Are we ruining anything by jumping in and trying to snatch him up right now? Everything we got right now is speculation.
Now let me think. 'Cause I don't think I'm gonna say. Shut up. Oh.
Alright.
What's that, scraps? That's all?
Yeah, only me and you.
I know. I'm just so used to.
Making big quantity. Give me the plate. I need the plate. I need.
Okay!
I had to catch you. I know you was tunnel vision.
I was going to dump it in the. They want to rinse it off. And clean it.
It was gonna be more. Anyway.
I need to go check on humans. What's up? What's up? No, we're not doing songs. Cutting stuff.
Bring them closer, son. Stay over there with them.
I don't want to stay with them. They can come over here.
What was your deal with you and Ray that day?
He admits to being at Blue's house on the day of the murder to buy marijuana from Ray.
There we go. See? Cutting stuff for dinner. That's what we're doing.
He says he and his brother spent another 30 minutes at Blue's house, smoking
We do not
marijuana
have song
and watching the
requesters.
game before heading out.
And then what do you
What's up, crackhead?
Cracky Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, what did you do, homie? You just finished making your run?
What's the meal? Cheesesteaks and potatoes.
I'm gonna be straight up.
Home fries.
Well, home
We
fries.
know you wasn't only there during daytime.
There's
that
still
you was there
potatoes.
That night. We know that.
I was back there last time, so. Cause I was on drink. I wasn't even, I was dozing out.
He claims he did.
I gotta get my macaroni out too.
Who did it? Who shot Ram?
You make macaroni?
I'm just gonna be straight up. You ain't wrong
Yeah,
with this one.
you wanted this one.
You should go start that now, then.
Yeah.
You just don't understand.
Because the cheesesteak and sauteing, so the only thing that's gonna take the longest is the macaroni and potatoes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm waiting.
You should check out this own package. You can recruit troops and create
Yeah,
your own
it's gonna be really good. That's great, Logan. You hit 31 subscribers.
And work together to gather resources. Download Ebony now. And turn your
What's up?
boring
What's up?
moments into epic adventures.
Gather round, everyone, for the most magical of holiday traditions.
You ready for a great show?
More lights, more sparkle, and more cheer than you've ever seen before. Competition is fierce.
Now let's go witnessing.
Watch the
Crackheads,
great
and
Christmas
where's the
light
invite?
flash off places and
Sounds good.
spaces. Just search for places and spaces and favorite the channel to watch now.
It appears we have what is called
Why is that poor baby in his cage?
In fact, a situation that has no apparent solution. How do we resolve a situation of this nature?
Okay. So he crawls on the cage when he's hungry. That's
How
cute.
do
I love that.
maverick mechanics
He's like a little dog.
It's gotta happen to make it happen.
transform ordinary vehicles into monster machines? It's Monster Garage
You good now, buddy?
on Rig TV. Join Jesse James and his crew on Monster Garage.
A little
Search
bit.
for Rig TV, Monster Garage, and more now.
Now he gets sunbathing, basically. You know, that's how you process the food.
Later.
You heard me, baby?
Hi, Emerson.
You know, that's how you break down the food.
From the hot mess to the hot mess. Backstage. What's now?
So if you don't set it in the sun, you get that temperature, you ain't processing the food right, I believe.
If I had something to do with it, I would have told y'all.
You know what? You wanna let somebody say a story? I'm fine with it. And we're gonna keep it at that, man.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
I need to clean out his cage though.
Normally I'm calm and interview, but of course it's more personal, kind of personal.
Don't be smacking it so hard.
And this
That
guy,
sounds horrible.
he's lying.
Sound like you're gonna break it.
You just brother know that he came here? I'm sure.
Missed us. You ain't been on in a minute, I guess.
Well, they tracked down his
Emerson.
Hey, this is take a while. You think you come up here to the office and holler at me for a second?
You're running track. That's cool.
30 minutes later.
Take me through that day.
My brother, he was like, man, you want to ride me with him?
His story matches his brother's up to a point.
What time did you leave? Was it dark?
It was
It
dope.
was dark when y'all left. Okay.
So explain to me how your brother got a whole different story.
I don't know, I can tell you. If I do kill him, I was here.
He seems a hell of a lot more honest.
Yeah, you're right, because he did say that they were last ones leaving.
Yeah, they may not be involved, you know.
Yeah.
It says a lot that they came down here on their own. You know, most murderers
No.
don't do that. We don't have enough to charge
Stay.
them with what they're saying so far.
We for sure thought that they were going to be our guys. I suppose that they were the last one that was there. But their phone records end up verifying their alibi.
What's that comment? 101
We
Dalmatians.
just chased these rabbits for so long, so they're not getting behind on things. Different evidence go down.
Play a little music,
You're in trouble.
Yeah, I can just turn the music on my phone.
Yes,
And it'll play on the
no, I got certain artists that you can play that
5 more months go by.
Oh, not that. I was talking about my humans over here.
What have you been
Oh,
hearing?
TikTok.
Yeah.
Then, a
I
new
play
lead
this
comes
over
in.
here for them.
He was screaming.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna get you.
A man has come forward
There you go.
saying
Now
that
have
word
some
around
music.
Mobile terrorists
Oh, you got
is
music
that
on
the
your
man
phone?
he was feuding with
Yeah.
was involved in the murders.
I got my Spotify that I can play behind them
Really?
and talk.
So
On my TikTok anyway.
Nah, man. What's up?
iPhone 11's better.
around the terrace. Tell us something.
I love you.
The man he was
See, and the humans over here can't even hear it.
conviction for receiving stolen property and spent
You
5
barely.
years in prison after
No,
pleading
you're
guilty to
TikTok.
drug possession.
What you brother?
Oh, yeah. Oh, college. Yeah, that is true. They do. That is true. Yeah, if your live pops up, we'll watch it.
Who said that?
Logan, yeah.
After the murders,
He said, if I ever do a live, will you come and join?
officers
Yeah, we
finally
show you
tracked down
support,
the man
Logan.
who was feuding
College
and arrested
sucks
on an
sometimes.
unrelated warrant.
I want to talk about what's going on in the terrace. Take me through the day where Blue Man was killed.
I was at home, shadow. Y'all could walk.
Tell me about what happened with that.
He says about a month before
Emma, go ahead and
Blue
get
Ray's murders,
Stick and butter.
2 men
You want the
from
small stick or the big
neighborhood
stick?
shot at him.
And paid them to do it.
There we go. Is organic, or do you want the other organic butter?
Fíjate, Carlos, a todos los concluyeron. They may not be right.
Well, I mean,
You would make a difference.
no, it doesn't because they're both organic butter.
So get some butter.
The problem is, to be honest with
And
you,
we have freaking,
Don't get this bitch on that.
we got Land O'Lakes honey butter. You got your Texas Roadhouse.
My Texas Roadhouse goes on as a spread.
So since your sweet potato is probably the bigger steak.
The man Blue was beefing with.
I was getting all of it together because I'm already getting the water doing for the potatoes. I'm at the,
Well, you can go
I said yes.
To the murders. To this day, no one has been charged with any crimes in relation
Oh
to
no,
this
Emerson.
case.
Yeah.
you're looking down the road almost 3 years later.
Oh yeah, everybody feels that way. Sometimes. Later.
I was gonna go, and I changed my mind at the last minute because I couldn't face the family at all. I thought that, you know, I would get at least enough respect for someone to come up and to me and say, hey, this is what happened. But it hadn't happened. It's painful because I still see Ray's and Blue's family members. I feel ashamed.
I miss my son. If you are one of the people that know who did this, Charlie, this is a good neighborhood and people need to trust that. You took 2 good men out of this area. I don't care what they were doing on the side. They still were fathers. They still had loved ones.
Solely. Yeah, he's cutting potatoes.
I can't see myself leaving homicide and still having this case. Just point us in the right direction. I promise you.
He trying to do other stuff. He said,
A drug game now to where people want to rob and kill drug boys for what they have. These boys out here are not playing. And every time my phone dings, I'm into a call, just praying and hoping that it's not
You ain't never know what's
yeah,
happening.
you can rinse them off now.
You can't never always do
What's the
it.
emergency?
What?
Oh, God, guys just been shot.
I hit the joint like twice
I'm
and
getting
passed
a call
back.
from the office, and it's actually responding
Ever since I know you,
to the
you
scene.
had me joint. I hit it like 2 or 3 times.
It's not my case, so I'm doing
Why?
everything on the outskirts for looking for witnesses and things like that. So while I'm out on the scene,
I don't
two
really
of my
know.
cousins come walking up to me and was like, hey, say Tim and ain't Bunty. I say,
Number 10, White Rock Lake Park, Dallas. In 1943, the story of the ghost of White Rock was published in a Texas folklore publication, Backwoods to Border. The story goes that there was a young couple who was looking for somewhere they could be alone. They drove down a deserted road and parked on the shore of the lake. When they turned their headlights on, they saw someone walking towards them. A woman dressed in a white sheer dress who was soaking wet was coming closer and closer to their car. Concerned, they asked the woman if she was all right, and the woman then spoke and said, "I'm sorry to intrude, and I would not under any other circumstances, but I must find a way home immediately. My boat overturned, the others are safe, but I must get home." The couple agreed to take her home, and she gave them an address not too far away. As they drove off, the driver turned back to ask for some directions, but the backseat was empty
Hey,
and
babe, can you do me a
soaking wet.
favor?
When they arrived at the address the woman in white gave them, the man answered the door.
Can
you
When
jump this
he was
gully
told
and
what
this gully?
happened, he replied, "You are the
I
third
need
couple
this
who's
little
come to me
one.
with this
Yeah,
story.
well,
3 weeks ago, while sailing
Yep,
on White
yep.
Rock Lake, my daughter drowned. Many sightings have been reported since. Number 9, the Moody Mansion, Galveston. Before I get to the next entry, make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos so that I can keep bringing you
Yeah,
the most
third
amazing
red boy day. What's
Before
going
it was
on with you,
known as the
Logan?
Moody Mansion, it was the Willis Mansion. Built for Narcissa Willis in 1895, this 31-room mansion boasts a Romanesque architecture with ornate
Logan, what's
features
going
like
on with you?
stained glass windows and carved woodwork. She commissioned wishes after he passed, spending the family inheritance in the process. Something her 10 children did
Yeah,
not
I forgot to
appreciate.
tell you, you're not supposed to push down on the
She passed away in 1899, and it was then purchased by the Moody's. In
You don't have
1900,
any
a
more room in
hurricane
that
destroyed
bottle.
much of Galveston and took the lives of some 6,000
Yeah, no, they like to pack
people.
it really
strangely,
good, but
the
that's
Well,
awesome because it's organic.
untouched.
But here, what
Perhaps
you
it was
do
the
is
ghost
you
of Narcissa
pick that off.
keeping her prized possession safe. Visitors
You're
to the
fine, you're not gonna
seem
die,
to
it's
see
garlic.
spectral images
Strong,
of
it
the
stink,
photographs
it
taken in
reeks.
the house, prompting
Smells
paranormal
amazing.
investigators to come here to do research. Number 8. San Fernando Cathedral. San
Dusting it
Antonio.
everywhere.
The oldest church in the
I
entire
don't
state
want
of
it on
Texas
me,
has
she
stood
burns.
for nearly 300
Does not
years.
burn.
It's collected many spirits,
Hands off,
some of
hot,
whom were
sweaty,
buried
and
within the
handy,
walls of the church themselves. When searching for paranormal activity
You're
here,
such a
one
little
of the first things
vampire.
researchers often see is a white horse trotting in front of the cathedral, only to disappear soon after. It's said that the horse was a gift from an Apache tribe that was refused and killed. Other ghosts that walk the grounds.
Hardy har.
A man dressed in black clothes from the
Got a little
1860s
vampire
who
over
follows
here.
tours and then suddenly disappears, as well as those of monks.
Tell me
who
no
can be
lie,
seen
you
and
can get the
heard
picture
standing
garlic,
in the back of
anything.
the pews during service.
Oh my god, it's so
Demons
true.
Road, Huntsville. Formerly known
No, it's
as
my
Golden
witch hat.
Road,
It
this
looks like a
silent
sorting
travel
hat,
road
though.
is creepy enough without the ghost stories.
No
It's
lie, you use the
overgrown,
picture garlic,
has
I'm
misshapen
on.
trees, and in the dark seems like something right out of a horror movie. But there is at least one notable spirit who haunts travelers who dare come through here. A boy on a tricycle with glowing eyes has been reported by many people riding down
Damn
the road.
you,
He appears
spilling
in the
garlic.
middle of the road and stares you down until you approach him. And once you do, a thick fog rises from the ground and he disappears. There's one more story about Demons Road that I found super interesting though. Two friends heard that the road was haunted and decided to check it out for themselves.
Okay.
And as they drove
Thank
down it
you.
in the middle of the night, the trees seemed to shift and shake. And then they arrived
What's
at the
happening, Ben? It's
destination
been a
at the
couple
end
days.
of Demons Road, which just so happens to be the next
You
entry
said
on the
what's
list.
the
Number 6, Martha Chapel Cemetery. When the two men drove up to the cemetery, which
No, I
was named
can't,
after
I
the first
can't, I
person who
cannot.
was buried there, Martha Palmer,
You said
moonlight was
garlic
piercing
burn.
through the clouds
Vampire
and lighting the
burn.
headstones. And cemetery. But when
Right?
the driver decided to pour some
That's
on
what
the
I
grave,
said.
a skeletal hand
Like,
burst from the ground,
really?
grabbing at his ankle and dragging him into the dirt. His friend and passenger ran over to help, kicking at the zombie-like arm and dragging him away. After he was freed, the driver called
I just
out
opened
for
it
them
with
to
my
escape,
mouth.
and when he got back to his car, he looked back, but
And you're
didn't
over
see
here
his
like-
friend who supposedly just saved his
Give
life.
it away.
He was actually still sitting in the passenger
You're
seat.
No garlic, no holy warrior, all that
He
good
drove
shit.
back down Demons Road.
You see any
Passengers
crosses and
slumped
Bibles
over
in
into
here?
his
No.
lap. The driver realized that his friend had died. Allegedly, he passed away from a heart attack on the drive to the cemetery. And in 2018,
Hey, you need a
a
Bible
video
in
surfaced
the,
from someone
hey,
who
you
was
know, like most
exploring
hotels,
the
you got a
street
Bible in
view
the
of
drawer,
the
and a
area.
Bible
He
in
saw
the
a
drawer.
ghostly image appear inside the cemetery. A creepy, pale face of a boy was behind a tree in one shot and missing in the next. There was also a large black figure in the background that did not seem to be human. Spooky stuff. Number 5, Miss Molly's Hotel, Fort Worth. Originally built in 1910 as the Palace Rooms, Fort
What's
Worth's
happening,
first
Chris?
breakfast,
What's
Miss
happening,
Molly's,
Chris?
has
What's
had
going on,
quite the
man?
history. During Prohibition,
happening,
it
y'all?
became a speakeasy called the Oasis. In the 1940s, it became a brothel known as the Guyette Hotel. And after that, it shut down and became Miss Molly's. There have been many reports of unwanted guests appearing here, most notably those of Jake the Cowboy and Josie King, the former madam of the brothel, who were seen as full-body apparitions. Workers and visitors alike have witnessed them walking through locked doors, books being thrown, items disappearing and reappearing in random places, and strangely, change being neatly organized in certain rooms. In room 3,
What's happening, Angel? How you feel, Charlie?
appeared as though
That goes in
someone
the
was
bottom
suddenly
drawer.
sitting on it and shaking the bed while guests sleep. You know, I think Little Richard said it best. Good golly, Miss Molly. Number 4, The Grove.
Good
Jefferson.
golly,
This
Miss
house,
Molly.
built in 1861, has had many owners over the years, and most
You can
would
just
agree
stand
that
up
the
right
place is
there.
cursed. Since its construction, most of the owners of the house have experienced some sort of tragedy.
What's going on,
Ah,
Angel
we
Grace?
volunteered in there at the same
Great
time.
flood, and a lynch mob committed
How you feel?
horrible
What's going on
atrocities
today?
properties.
What you had for
4
dinner?
freed slaves were brutalized and hung from trees on the property. The spirits of these men are said to be the most active spirits.
Grandpa's.
Later owners
That's
saw
what-
multiple
oh,
family
that's what I
members
was
take their
doing.
own lives on the property. And
You
some
probably
of those
smelled it when you
the spirits
opened
here
it.
are quite restless, and there are reports
And the
abound of
fumes are in
books
your
lying on
nose.
shelves, mirrors shattering, voices telling people to do horrible things to themselves, and full-on ghostly apparitions that appear and disappear at will. All of these things show that the Grove definitely belongs on this list. Number 3, the Black Swan Inn, San Antonio. There is no relation to the 2010 film here, but the strange happenings have messed up people's minds just as much as Natalie Portman's character's was. The land that the inn stands on has major ties to indigenous peoples from some 7,000 years ago, and is also a former battle site for the war between the Texan and Mexican army in 1842. But 35 years later, a dairy farm was founded on the land by a German immigrant. The blood-soaked soil here seems to be a bad place to build, as tragedy struck many who lived on the land. The farmer's wife passed away from cancer she developed shortly after moving in, and 2 years later, he decided to join her by taking his own life. Soon after, the property was purchased by 2 families and renamed the White Gables. However, at the age of 38, one of the new owners, Jolene Street, also passed away due to cancer. And like the owners before them, her husband hung himself in the bedroom. The inn that now stands has had reports of the spirits of the former owners wandering the halls with their necks broken, pushing guests off of their beds, and generally getting up to no good. No matter which way you slice it, this property seems cursed. Number 2, the Hill House, Mineral Springs. In part 2, I talked about the haunted Baker Hotel in Mineral Springs, but it seems that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because just behind the Baker Hotel lies one of the most haunted places in Texas, the Hill House. Many people stay in this house attempting to witness paranormal activity, and most of them get more than they bargained for, and don't make it through the night without leaving terrified. The owners of the house, who purchased it in 2017 knowing its haunted history, rent it out to individuals and paranormal research teams looking to witness something terrifying. And apparently about 50% of them, including the professionals, leave within the first night. This is due to a spirit or entity that resides here named Toby, who growls loudly in your ear to get out, knocks things over, slams doors, and even gets violent. Videos show all sorts of terrible things happening to people who stay here, like a woman who was taunting the spirits, trying to make something happen, being viciously pulled off of her bed, leaving her bruised. And when she returned a year later, for some reason, she was scratched by something invisible in the room so badly that blood leaked through her shirt. Whoever Toby is, it seems like he doesn't want anyone else to come into his house and will do anything to keep them out. Number 1, Old Town Spring. While the rest of the entries on this list and my other 2 videos have had some terrifying places, our number 1 spot belongs to an entire town that is haunted, and some even say cursed. Allegedly, in the 1700s, a curse was cast by members of the Akokisa tribe on the town and its people who stole their land and killed their kin. And this curse has followed the town all the way through history, continuing even today. Every building in this small town has a haunting story, and I'll share a few of them with you now, but I encourage you to look this up because there are so many more that I just can't get to today. The Whitehall House was built in 1895 and has since been converted into a funeral home, and they have a special room upstairs designated as the Ghost Room, where the spirits of the dead who haunt the building can reside. Figures are seen walking through the door, dancing on the balcony, and heard inside. One of the previous owners decided to renovate the room and experienced, quote, violent spirit activity. And it took years for the ghosts to calm back down. There are now 2 new clauses in the lease agreement for the building. The Ghost Room is not to be disturbed, and you can't break the lease due to a haunting. Many of the buildings in town can be seen with trees growing closely and even through some of the buildings. And allegedly, the curse placed upon the town ensured that if anyone cut down any trees, they would experience a terrible fire. And this has happened inexplicably many times to many different buildings in the town, and some quite recent. There is also a hanging tree where a judge sentenced more than 60 people to death, which is an insane rate, even by the standards of any time. And the old ice house, which was used to store corpses waiting to be sent to the funeral home, has a heavy energy, and everything goes quiet when you get near it. And it's burned down countless times.
vanished fast. Visitors have experienced scratching, pinching, shoving, suddenly becoming ill, and even hearing her haunting voice echo across the cemetery, sending many that have dared to visit running for the hills. So
Yes,
just
we do.
be careful
Adventures
if
all
you
the
choose
time
to
and
stop
always on the
by.
road.
If you
Football
Exactly,
careful,
Angel.
she could hurt
It's
you
fact,
for
that's
life.
life.
Next up at number 7,
No,
the
Chris.
Calcasieu Courthouse. The history of capital punishment is a torrid
Just
one,
some
and
people
as it
know how to
turns
get
out,
along
this
and
courthouse is
co-parent.
actually famous for just that. Back in the
Called being
1940s,
adults.
there was a woman named
And not
Tony Jo
arguing about
McCusick.
everything.
She lived
And
quite
small
a
shit.
tumultuous life
You learn
involved
that when
in
you grow
drugs
up.
and her local brothel, but one day she fell in love with a man who frequented her establishment named Claude Henry. And so they got married, and she started to really turn her life around. But after Claude was sent to jail for 50 years for killing someone, something inside Tony snapped. She planned to bust Claude out of jail with a friend, but in the process of stealing a car, killed the owner and left
And
him in
Angie,
a
that's
ditch.
because
She
they
was caught
just
and
comment
sentenced to
and
death
they haven't
and
looked at
become
any
the first
videos
ever
or
woman to be
shorts
executed
of
by the
me at
electric
work.
chair
They
in
just
Louisiana.
commenting,
It
so
said her spirit still
that's what
haunts
it
the
is.
courthouse, locking doors and messing around with the filing systems during the day, but steer clear at night. As residents report, you can smell her burning hair and hear her unruly screams echo through the streets. Coming in at number 6, Pea Farm. Nicknamed the Pea Farm, it is not actually a farm, nor does it have anything to do with peas. It is, however, an old abandoned prison. The facility was in operation between
we do
1905
go a
to
lot of
1950, and rumor has it that life was incredibly rough and difficult at the Pea Farm for prisoners.
You never
even
know
more
place
so
too
than your
long.
typical prison. Beatings and
So you
lashings
gotta
were
live on the edge.
commonplace, and
Sometimes
even
I'm going a
killing
little
of
bit, have some
prisoners
fun.
was nothing to bat an eye at. So it's no surprise that those whose life may have ended here have stuck around, maybe trying to seek revenge on those who hurt them. Today, the prison is strictly off limits to visitors, but those that walk past have reported hearing shrieks and other strange noises coming from inside the abandoned prison. Maybe no one is allowed for a good reason. Next up at number 5, Bonnie and Clyde's ambush site.
Well,
Maybe
really
you've heard
thank
of the
you,
infamous
because I was
couple,
offered
but
a real
just in
good
case you
job
haven't,
locally.
let me catch you up. They were notorious bank
And,
robbers across
shoot,
Louisiana
I go
and
see the
Texas
guy
during the Great
December
Depression in
4th.
America and made
I'm
quite
really
a
thinking
name for
about it.
themselves.
Because
In
they're
recent
talking
years,
about
it has
somewhere
been
near
suggested their
$30 an
exploits were
hour.
exaggerated,
So it sounds
but
real
one
low.
thing that wasn't is how they died.
That'd
The
be a
day
$10
was
raise,
May
so I
23rd,
can't beat that.
1934, and police from both Louisiana and Texas managed to corner them in their stolen car. Authorities fired more than 100 bullets at the couple, and as the story goes, you could hear
Yeah.
Bonnie's scream
Bonnie,
from the next
you heard her
town
screaming.
over. Residents claim
No,
that if
I
you visit
heard-
the
I
site
heard,
of their death, the
something about
ghosts
the
of the couple
None
make
from where you from.
themselves well known
I
to
know.
you. Apparitions
Right
have
from
shown in
Texas.
photographs, and some have even heard what they believe to
I
be
love
Bonnie's
Bonnie and
scream
Clyde.
as she took her last few breaths on this earth. Coming in
I
at
heard
number
that story
4,
about Bonnie and Clyde. That shit was
Oak
serious,
Valley. Once
wasn't it?
upon a time, it was one of the largest plantations in Louisiana, and just like every other of its kind, it has a dark past. Since its dark days, it has turned into a bed and breakfast and historical site, but the people that were tortured remain, haunting the ground and terrorizing visitors. Numerous accounts have claimed to hear unexplained sounds like blood-curdling screams in the middle of the night, or the sound of a horse-drawn carriage clopping along the path. Some visitors have even experienced being touched or grabbed by an unseen entity, and one investigator got so scared he dropped his camera while trying to
Are you serious?
Paranormal
Much
investigators
love.
have managed
That's
to capture several EVPs
like they went in Bonnie and Clyde for for Halloween.
Oh,
You
that's
pretty
fucking
much
cute.
Even hurt staying
Check
here.
it.
No, I didn't.
Tread carefully as
I
you
can hear
never
it.
know just when you can set the spirits off. Coming in at number 3,
Alright.
Alice's grave. Alice died in the 19th century.
That's
and
better.
although she
Alright,
had
can you
a
still hear it, though?
while alive, her death and
Now you can hear both
afterlife
the-
were anything but
Buffalo, what's
She was
up?
Just happy Big Buffalo.
The new bandits in town.
people began to question, was the grave haunted, or worse,
Hey.
was Alice a witch?
She had no pistol,
As the
too.
legend
Took her to the
goes, in the
range.
middle of the night, a large slab of
There it
marble
is.
covering her grave was removed on 3
Yeah,
separate
hey.
occasions.
And I ain't talking about no
Each
little
time,
kid pistol
her
either. I'm
remains
talking
were
about
left
45.
outside the grave. No one stepped forward admitting to have moved Alice or the slab, which led people to believe that Alice was a witch trying to escape her grave and haunt the town. Eventually, Eventually, large iron bars were placed over the
You
grave
too?
in an attempt to hold
Noodle
the spirit
check.
inside. But this hasn't seemed to stop her,
okay.
as locals claim you can still
There
see
you
her
go.
wandering the cemetery at night. But just exactly what is she looking for? That is one of the many unanswered
You know, that's the
questions
all
that
American
leave
couple right
visitors
there.
terrified,
Bonnie and
unsure
Clyde.
if she
I've always
is
loved
in
Bonnie and
peace
Clyde.
or if she is
Angel Grace said the same thing I just said.
Number 2, the
Yeah.
Manchac Swamp. Now, many are familiar with the legendary voodoo priestess Marie Laveau. She was not
I love
the
Marie
only one
Laveau.
at the time. Julia Brown was a well-respected healer and
What you say, brother? You say you want one script from the Bible? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil Me look on my DNA. I don't read the Bible, brother. I read the Quran.
Julia began scaring the village, telling them dooming predictions about their impending deaths. And the townspeople
I don't know
were sure
what
that
you
she
said.
was
I heard you,
placing
but I gotta go
curse
to there, so
or
don't give me that.
foretelling their future
You guys
in
laugh at that
very
one.
trouble. Shortly before her
Damn
own
it,
death,
sorry,
she
people, my
said,
shoulder bone
"One
got
day
you."
I'm gonna die and I'm gonna take all you with me." And just days after she was buried, 3 entire villages were destroyed by a hurricane and hundreds of lives were lost. To this day, many believe the spirit of Julia Brown haunts the swamp, and visitors
Hey,
have reported hearing
at least my
her
book ain't
screaming
changing over
screams, the sound
all
of
this
her
time.
voice, singing
Your
cryptic
book
and
has been
frightening
written
songs,
over 100 different ways in 100 different languages, written by 100 different people.
La Laurie Mansion. Arguably one of the most infamous buildings in all of Louisiana, La Laurie Mansion.
I know they believe in storytelling and everything, but whoo, Lord, how many different authors do they have in your story?
She was regarded as a monster and was known to have her slaves taken from her on more than one occasion due to their outrageous mistreatment. In 1834, a fire broke out in her mansion, and when police and fire marshals arrived at the site, they found one of her slaves chained to the stove, claiming to have started the fire to try and take her own life to escape.
Big shit, real fat. Big fat.
Victims were found in her attic, suspended from the ceiling, mutilated and barely alive, stating to have been imprisoned for months. Once news broke out of her cruelties, citizens attacked the house and demolished everything they could. While the original building no longer stands, the grounds it stood on are some of the most haunted in all of Louisiana, as it's believed nearly 100 people lost their lives under Madame Delphine's cruel supervision. Visitors have reported feeling the violent touches of ghostly hands, and the medium that visited stated that there is a very that resides within the building's walls. So just tread carefully should you choose to visit the spirit that are not too thrilled
Hey,
by
babe.
visitors in there.
Buffalo, he said he could see us now with the Magnum. He said he could see us now in the spot where you us with the guns and you put my hand all over the candy.
Some of them might be full of ghosts. That might be a thing that you just might have to deal with. Room 206 at the Super on International Drive. Apparently, it's super haunted. Guests have reported the bed shaking in the middle of the night.
Alright, alright, so it's the King James Version, right? I understand that.
AC is turned off. And worst of all, guests have seen their bed look as though somebody was sleeping there moments before, even though it's perfectly made right before they checked in. Can ghosts squat? Is that legal? We've got a couple of spirit squatters in our room. Gotta move. Number 9, Disney on Ice. Many families love to visit.
Hey, you said the King James Version 611.
Spectacular, especially Disney World. I went once when I was younger, but no, I don't recall ever seeing a real-life Walt Disney. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he died in 1966. Who knows? But never say never. One of Orlando's oldest tales is that Walt Disney cryogenically frozen after his death.
I see how many people were
stored in a bunker underneath the theme park. I mean, that's a bit more creative than being cremated. I'll give him that. Pretty Walt Disney of him, just to freeze himself forever. A grad from the University of Central Florida Folk School, Benjamin Lancaster, they actually made a film about this whole idea called The Further Adventures Walt's Frozen Head. It's a family classic, some would say. Number 8, Scarlett O'Hara. You're going to need 2 pieces of ID for this next one, all right? Perhaps the most haunted bar in Florida, located in St. Augustine, Scarlett O'Hara's is haunted by a past owner. Many believe that spirit likes to make itself known. guests. That's always fun, trying to go grab a pint and now you got a ghoul in front of you.
Babe, can you
That
turn the water
spirit is
off?
one of George Coley. Now George sadly bit the bullet one night when he was in his bathtub, so now he had a series of unexplainable events. Plates and glasses will sometimes move across the bar on their own.
Doing.
The jukebox is playing Help Me Rhonda even when it's unplugged. So that's absolutely terrifying. If you want to check it out now, be warned, because it's a full-on
I was
tourist
just gonna
attraction at
say
this
you
point.
could
But
put
if you
the
go,
thing
you can
in.
pose alongside the same bathtub that George Coley died in. Yeah, how lovely is that? Are we going to Disney World? Nah, even better. Scarlett O'Hara's. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I already,
You don't want to be stranded.
I don't know
at
what
the
you was
Stranahan house.
doing.
It's gonna be bad news. Fort Lauderdale has a few haunted hidden gems, and the oldest house just happens to be the most haunted. What do you know? What odds are that? What odds are that? What are those odds? There we go. The house's OG owner was Frank Stranahan, and today, if you visit ye olde stomping grounds, well, you might catch Frank in a photo or two. It's said that Frank still oversees the place, and he regularly shows up in guests' photos. So this ghost likes to photobomb. That's pretty amazing. I kind of like that. I suppose being trapped in the same house for all of eternity probably gets a little boring from time to time.
There you go.
Just to pop into a photo,
You think you
throw some
do?
peace signs up, and then disappear back into the
Heard me?
walls. Ivy Stranahan, Frank's late wife, she also has made an appearance or two.
No, I
This
was
true
saying,
love is haunting the
get
same
it.
house forever. Guests have felt a cold hand on their shoulder,
Because I
and
think
her
somebody
perfume
missed it.
still lingers in the hallway. Must have been some good, strong stuff. Nice. Now, it's not all fun and games. Augustus Stranahan, aka Frank's father, well, his
What's happening, Raven? How you feel?
really aggressive, so heads up for that, I guess, if you go. Cheers. Number 6, the Plaza Resort and Spa. Ah, yes.
Hey, we got a
Relax
Patreon
with
site. You join that.
Ghosts. It's just what you want. You're never alone, I guess. That's a plus
Content
side.
coming
The Plaza
soon.
Resort and
Photos
Spa
and
sounds like a
videos of
relaxing
trips
getaway
out.
until you start looking up footage of the actual resort. One's gonna get your attention for sure. Back in August 2013, security cameras captured late-night footage of this shape-shifting ghost, some sort of spirit, some scary blob. It's bad news, really, in any regard. What happened was the original building was destroyed by fire in 1909, and current staff will testify that they've seen the ghosts of victims caught in that blaze. How they know? I have no idea, but apparently they do know. It's a lot of details for one ghost appearance. One of the most common sightings includes a woman whose spirit is known to mess with the elevators and make items in the kitchen disappear. Okay, really? That last one's for sure an employee stealing food. He's like, oh yeah, I don't know. I think a ghost ate that cheesecake box. I don't know, spooky stuff. Number 5, the Blue Anchor Pub. Another bar, another haunted bill to pay. Here we go, debit or credit. Heading over to Delray Beach, the Blue Anchor Pub was built in 1840s in London, but the wooden interior was sent to New York City and then later on sent to Florida in 1996. So yeah, these spirits must be confused. They go from Jack the Ripper to some dude wearing a Yankees hat talking to a TV. Trapped in the wooden interior is the ghost of one Bertha Starkey, who was sadly killed by her husband back in the 1840s. Now, you know Bertha is lurking about when you hear rattling pots in the kitchen, and sometimes if you're really unlucky, you'll hear wailing in the middle of the night. Nice. Again, horrible sleep at this place. The Blue Anchor sounds like a really relaxing time, but every night at 10 o'clock, the current owners will blast the ship horn to scare away her spirit. I don't know, I feel like blaring a ship horn at 10 p.m. is more jarring than some pots and pans moving sometimes. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear the pots and pans than in the middle of the night. No way. Number 4, the Biltmore Hotel. Another hotel to avoid at all costs. Awesome, we love these ones. First of all, do you actually like staying at a hotel? Some people love it. Some people find it super relaxing. I can't help but think about what went on in the bed before me. You know what I mean? Like,
Gabby's
this
on
is part of
drugs,
the
I
bed feel a
guess.
little bit caved in. What's going on here? Every time I'm in a hotel, I have the worst dreams and I can't sleep at all. The Biltmore Hotel in the city of Coral Gables is also one of the most haunted hotels in Florida. You've probably heard of this at some point. It all started in 1926 during initial construction. The Biltmore witnessed a foul killing on the 13th floor. 13th floor of all floors, my God. The Biltmore was also turned into a military hotel during World War II before ultimately being closed and then abandoned later in 1968. Now, the city renovated the hotel later on in the 80s, but it didn't take long for ghost stories to start to spread. It's horrible, horrible past, I mean, more than fair. Now, of course, the most activity is on the 13th floor, so if you do check this one out, really double down. Go to the haunted floor, you know? Don't just look outside and then book. Go in, stay a night. I can't believe some buildings don't have a 13th floor. Can you imagine that? Well, they do, but everyone pretends that they don't. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, it's 12. I don't know, we'll see. Are you a 13th floor believer? Comment down below. Me personally, I don't think so, because it's the 14th or the 12th. Or the 13th? I don't know anymore. No one knows anymore. It goes 11, 12, 14. You're like, really? What's the 14s? We know what's going on here. Come on. Number 3, Tampa Theater. If you're a fellow theater kid, you're also gonna love this one. Here we go. Tampa Theater opened up in 1926. The theater is now said, of course, to be haunted by a woman that was struck and killed by a carriage on the property. Imagine being hit by a carriage. It's so slow. This was actually before the theater was built, so her spirit has been there for a while. If you go to Tampa Theater today, you might catch a glimpse of that woman in a white gown walking across the mezzanine hallway. This time without carriages whipping through. Hopefully,
What's wrong?
Carriage. Imagine telling somebody in front of you to sit
What
down
happened?
during a show and they just disappear. And like,
Forgot what?
I think that was probably a ghost. It says in the playbill, ghost, so maybe that was her. Tampa Theater, of course, has leaned into these claims. Now they offer Ghosts of Tampa Theater Tour, where guests can learn about its haunted history. I'd love to do this tour. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Florida. Who knows? I'm like, probably not going to. Number 2, Key West Cemetery. A cemetery that's haunted. Get out of town. You don't say. The Beachside Cemetery was built in 1847. Now, it was built specifically for victims of a hurricane that occurred a year prior in 1846. That's terrible. Now, this cemetery is the final resting place for roughly 80,000 to 100,000 people. So, yeah, I can only assume there's a ghost or two hanging out. That's extremely tragic. Walking through a graveyard at night is scary enough anytime, but Key West Cemetery is so specific that the entire time you're walking through, you feel connected in a way. Now, me, personally, I'm all set. I don't want to feel connected to an 1846 tragedy. I'm all set. I'll go the long way around the cemetery, and I'll meet you on the other side, if anything. But if you're into this kind of thing, they also offer ghost tours, so knock yourself out. There you go. Apparently, it's too scary for children, so that's a plus. Lines will be a little shorter than usual. And finally, number 1, St. Augustine Lighthouse. A scary lighthouse. How's that possible? The St. Augustine Lighthouse is located, of course, in Florida and was built between 1871 and 1874. And it's considered Florida's first official lighthouse ever. Imagine that.
What's going on, everybody? Buffalo, you still in here, homie?
There have been several tragic events over the following years, seeing as it's the first lighthouse ever. It's seen a lot of history. But even during initial construction, there were several freak accidents on site. Today, said spirits are still lurking about. Sightings of shadowy figures are common.
What's wrong with Gabby?
This one time, somebody saw a hand coming through the tower door. Yeah, a floaty hand, like from Idle Hands. How terrifying is that? Can you imagine?
Who's
just a
Gabby?
Smash Bros. Hand
I have no
just
idea.
lurking near you? Several guests have reported furniture also moving around on its own, which is definitely a hazard. And one person even said that they had some of their arm hairs plucked off of them while they were in the basement. Probably that floaty weird hand just.
Hey, Angel, who's Gabby, yo? What's going on with Gabby, yo?
Ankle at one point while walking down a hallway, which actually caused them to trip and fall down. So
I never even seen her on here. I was too far away, Gabby. What's going on,
I
shorty?
think the ghost hand wants you to click like if you like this video. I think that's what it
You
wants.
upset? I wasn't even up here, yo.
Is Louisiana Old State Capitol. This neo-Gothic cathedral-like castle was built back in 1846 after the Louisiana
You know, I was
legislature
sending
decided to
messages
build
and
the
shit.
capital away from the sinful lifestyle scattered across New Orleans. For many years, it housed some of the most esteemed and prestigious lobbyists and lawmakers, and although it's no longer used for politics, it is far from empty. Said to be haunted by numerous
What up,
entities
Ed?
like a security guard and a girl who lived nearby.
Yo,
during
Chris, I don't
construction.
own that book.
The
I own the
most notorious
Quran.
is that of Pierre Cuvion. Once a senator in the Capitol's prime, it said Pierre dropped dead from a heart attack in the building after a spirited speech about the corruption of politics. Visitors say his
Chris, I
ghost
bumped my
still
head on the
calls
floor
to
5
this
times a
day.
day.
He can often be heard stomping around the Senate floor or playing tricks on the staff. Once while making his nightly rounds, a security guard, and a live one to be clear, not the ghost, said he felt a tap of
In
a
the name
cold
of
finger
Allah,
on his
most
shoulder,
gracious,
but
most
when he turned
merciful.
around, nothing
There is
was
no
there.
God but
He knew
Allah, and
he
Muhammad
wasn't
is the messenger
imagining
of
it, and
Allah.
afterwards it sounded like something or someone was giggling. Most creepy of all is the numerous reports of staff saying they've seen motion detectors go off only to find an empty room upon inspection. So they would go back and check security tapes, but nothing had entered or left at the time the sensors were triggered. Coincidence? You tell me. Coming in at number 9, the Woodland Plantation. Owned by notorious pirate and seafarer William Johnson. During its active years, it was used as a sugar plantation, housing and torturing a multitude of slaves. It likely comes as no surprise that Johnson was not revered as a kind man. Not only did he frequently kill for his job at sea, but he was notoriously cruel to his slaves too, with many reporting he would not bat an eye, executing or beating any who dared question his power or stepped out of line. Today, those brave enough to visit report hearing the cries of the tortured souls echo through the house, as well as lights turning on and off independently, and unexplainable bursts of cold air even in the blistering heat of summer. Most terrifying, though, is those that have witnessed the ghost of Pierre Lafleur, a man who briefly lived at the house after its days as a plantation, who after running out of money, took to the chandelier in the living room and tragically ended his life. I will not be taking my chances with that one. Next up at number 8 is the USS Kidd. Maybe I just watched too much Pirates of the Caribbean as a kid, but there is something extra scary about a haunted ship. During World War II, this boat was a destroyed ship
It's not
for the
scary
US
about a
Navy,
haunted ship.
named
I
after
wanna see
Admiral
one.
Isaac Kidd. Kidd tragically lost his life to the attack on Pearl Harbor, but surprisingly, this isn't where the boat gets its ghost story from. On April 11, 1945, a Japanese plane committed
sure,
a
baby?
attack, plummeting into the boat, killing 38 sailors and leaving 55 others badly wounded. Today, it's no longer used as a warship, but remains docked in the Baton Rouge as a war memorial, and all that enter say they felt spirits of the sailors who lost their lives inside. Visitors claim to see full-bodied apparitions of the spirits decked out in their war uniforms, as well as ghostly arms and legs creepily floating around, looking as if they were brutally ripped from the rest of the body. But whatever you do, just stay away from the sleeping quarters, as that's where things get even worse. Those that have ventured down say the blood-curdling screams of the soldiers can be heard bouncing off the walls, and some even say they've been pushed or grabbed by the tortured souls right up until they step foot off the ship. Coming in at number 7 is Chrétien Point. First run by Hippolyte Chrétien, a French colonist, Chrétien accrued a massive wealth operating his cotton plantation off the backs of slaves. On top of that, Chrétien also had some less than friendly friends, one of which was the famed pirate Jean Lafitte. One day, Chrétien's son, Hippolyte II, fell in love with the neighbor girl Felicity Nada. She was a fiery, passionate, and independent Spanish woman, and despite pushback from his father, Hippolyte married Felicity, and the pair remained happily together. Once his father died, Hippolyte took over the family business, but sadly, he died of yellow fever shortly after in 1839, leaving Felicity to keep things running. She took pride in this position and accrued even more wealth than her father-in-law or husband ever had, eventually even becoming friends with the pirate Jean Lafitte herself, just as her father-in-law had. But after Lafitte's death, his crew thought they could pull the wool over Felicity's eyes and steal from her beloved home. But they were no match for the widow. Upon the break-in, she shot a pistol right between the eyebrows of one of the pirates, sending the rest running for their lives. Eventually, Felicity died, but eternally devoted to her plantation, her spirit has never left. Visitors say you can still hear the deadly gunshot clear as day in the hall, as well as the sound of bodies tumbling down the stairs. Just be careful if you do decide to visit. Felicity does not always take kindly to visitors. Next up at number 6 is Labo Mansion. Once the plantation of a wealthy businessman in 1846, in 1905 the property was sold and converted into a hotel and casino.
Hey Ranch, what's going on, homie? You back?
But it became
Gabby.
a popular hang spot during Prohibition. While patrons were likely pulled in by the promise of booze and gambling, it didn't take long before they realized
Gabby, what's going on, Gabby? How you feel, Shirley?
Spirits. Partygoers often complained their watches immediately stopped working the minute they stepped foot on the property, only to magically be good as new once they left. Many claimed to hear strange noises echo through the halls, and others nearly fainted seeing the woman in white who sat on the upstairs porch. Then in 2013, a group of so-called paranormal investigators that, by the sound of it, were more like a group of drunken idiots, snuck onto the property looking to catch one of the many rumored entities sent to haunt the historic halls. But having no real clue what they were doing, decided to light fire on the building in an attempt to provoke the spirits to show themselves. Sadly, all they did was burn it down. However, the fire was no match for the spirits. Even without the walls to hold them in, all the entities haunting the property.
I'm ready for some music.
That's cool.
Where my boy at? Where my boy at? Where my boy at? Here we go. Here we go. Can you still hear me? Hey, Angel, can you hear me?
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if your enemies are broke ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets close, you're big pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, live this or never getting bored. Lots of blood and gold. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force of hard in. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped to be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, unexpected. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protected. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
So what y'all have for dinner? I'm about to smash.
I promise with darkness I can honest believe. But don't cross me, I might lose control of the lost beast. So locked away inside with the key control. Fly, fly, fly. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, unexpected. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protected. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
Any better now?
Yeah, I just wanna be the greatest. Everybody knows my name, shit. I'ma have this whole fucking game list, spitting with the same wit. And I'm gonna be famous. Ain't nobody able to delay this. Coming up, I had a vision to make it. Never wanted to be nothing, always wanted to place it. Sitting class, always wondering why I love the same shit. How the hell am I different if we all know the same shit? I ain't never let them tell me. It's about me. Keep my head down, let my mouth speak. They surround me. They all about the cops, see where the crowd be. Every time I speak loudly, they know about me. Man, you know I got a bounty on these lousy ass haters that surround me. So they doubt me, they don't know nothing about me. So the mouth free, I'ma change that soon. Better watch out now, see?
And I just wanna be famous. Yeah, I just wanna be the greatest. Yeah. And I just wanna be famous.
And I'm not playing any more games. Either put me on the charts or I'll put you up in flames. Better recognize art, cause I don't forget names. Should've seen me from the start, coming at you like a train. Think I'm about to fall apart every single fucking day. Seeing all these damn stars with my well-deserved fame. And I spit these gold bars while they're spitting out shit. Man, I get this shit hard, but it gives me back pain. I wanna be a spectacle, they skeptical, but man, I keep it like chemical, exceptional. I do it all intentional, professional, so I can make a decimal incredible. I'm not thinking, man, saying that I've gone insane. I'm not ever gonna make it cause the game has changed. I'm not good enough, man, no, that's not okay. Tell me that shit again and I'll stop and pray.
And I just wanna be famous. Yeah, I just wanna be the greatest. And I just wanna be famous.
Now wake up, you got some shit to do. It's 6 a.m., I don't care, you got some shit to prove. Cause right now, you ain't got nothing that big to lose. So get your ass to work and don't you dare hit snooze. Can't stop this, I'm obnoxious. And I'm honest and honest with promise. Make monsters unconscious, but I'm nauseous. Think I've lost and I'm gone. Spitting all this, still I'm not, and I've got this. I will not quit, and I'm all in. Balling on a budget, and I'm stalling. Crawling, cause I'm nothing, but I'm all in. Calling, I'm something, yeah, I'ma get it now. You can leave if you don't like it. Say it out loud, you believe it, you can bite this. Keep my head down and I keep on going down. Think it somehow, I believe it when I write this.
So what type of music y'all trying to do?
Yeah, I just wanna be the greatest. And I just wanna be famous.
Stop!
What?
You!
What I do? All I did was take lady this there. What? I ain't hear that.
I know, I put that. Because that was laying on the counter.
Okay, what else is up on the picture?
On a piece of paper, rinsing off in the cup. I know, just not on the counter where it's greasy. I love you to death.
I feel able to turn the tables. I could do this. Just keep moving, keep your hands up, stupid. I feel lazy, I move you in.
You got these popping all over
No, future I
you can't really
it's
see
right
it.
there for the taking. Everything I've ever wanted, dreams are just waiting. I just gotta fight for it, willing to die for it, willing to like. Soon as I just need to hide for it.
That's what I mean.
Oh, so you...
I'm standing up cause I've had enough. I won't give up on the chance.
As long as I'm breathing, I'm not retreating. I could be bleeding, I'll take a beating. Keep on proceeding, I'm not fatiguing. 'Cause once I get to the ring, I'll be undefeated. To be the greatest I could be. Watch out, I'm here now. Big mood, no doubts. Big moves, big mouth. Hit hard, knockout. I come from a different pedigree. Destiny, don't mean anything. I make everything in my life come to life. Manifest, see the light. Intuition be my guide. This is how I have survived.
I'm standing up cause I've had enough. I won't give up on the chance.
As long as I'm breathing, I'm not retreating. I could be bleeding, I'll take a beating. Keep on proceeding, I'm not fatiguing. 'Cause once I get to the ring, I'll be undefeated.
I said, cool beef.
Come on, y'all ain't tell me what y'all having for dinner tonight, man.
Hands wrapped, knuckles taped black. Pick my gloves up off the mat. Fighting's all I ever had. Wasn't born with tons of gifts. Had to work hard as a kid. Know that everything I did was to catch the other kid. something empty. We need something more. I feel destiny, she tempts me. Tells me there's two paths, they both have a different ending.
Paul just said they got an Xbox. They about to get a 70-inch TV. Paul just texted me said they got an Xbox about to get a 70-inch TV.
Till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery. I will fight, never weary. I wanna be legendary.
Watch this. Hold on.
That's a cute little background. Yay!
I enjoy my life almost every day, and I can teach you if you listen to me. You follow some rules, don't need gifts to be paid. Persistence is better than brains any day. Just listen to me and I'll show you the way. We can feel there's something empty. We need something more. I feel destiny, she tempts me. Tells me there's two paths, they both have a different ending. Choose wise and you'll find that they lead to ascending. Till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery. I will fight, never weary. I wanna be legendary. Till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery. I will fight, never weary. I wanna be legendary. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep, wonder but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone eternally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can keep rocks if you think you're fucking better. See,
Yo, we out. We gonna come back later on. Holla at y'all. Like, share, subscribe.